All right. And I am live. Good morning. Good morning. I know I'm probably about the only person up this morning. So if you guys are listening to this on the replay, don't forget to smash that like button and also share the stream because that keeps me on top. But this is Faith in the Morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, March 4th, and it is 2:41 in California. Yeah, I'm in California heading back to Phoenix, guys. Heading back to Phoenix. So, yeah, you know what? I was rolling down the road and I got to thinking, do I want to have this conversation? And I said, yeah, I think I do. Title of the video: Are you high value? Are you high quality? Because, see, and this is mostly to the ladies, we're always talking about high value men, but we're not really talking a lot about high value women. And so I thought that today I would go ahead and introduce the concept of maybe first you should be trying to check yourself to see if you're high value or high quality. See, there's a lot of you running around here with this long laundry list of things that you want from a man. He's got to be tall. He's got to have six figures, 6 inch penis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you heard the whole thimble bottle, nimble nimble, 9 yards or whatever. And some of you all do not measure up to what it is that you want. You don't have six figures. You need to lose weight. You have issues with your personality. So, there are certain things that you might need to work on first before you go reaching for something that you want. So we got people running around here. I remember I got in trouble a while back because of the term that I used up wounds in reference to women who just nearly willy nilly go around, just having babies by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So you have three, four, five baby daddies, but you want a man that's 6 foot tall, got a long penis, and a big bank account. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. But you got all these flaws with yourself, but you feel like you're worthy of the latter. You're worthy of something that you yourself don't even qualify for. And see, I got in trouble when I said this a while back, and everybody was saying, "Ooh, Faith, you sound like the men. Faith, you're starting to sound like the men. You're bashing us like the men bash us." And see, even though it was said, not with malice, because see, a lot of those guys were saying it with malice. I'm saying it with love. Now, Love Wisdom and I, we do live streams together all the time. And Love Wisdom was the one that coined the term be the best pick me that you can be. But she was speaking in reference of you picking yourself first. I'm going to even go a step further and I'm going to say, with the whole level up movement, in order for you to level up in the first place, you need to level yourself up first. You can't look to level up off of a man and you're not there yet. You have done no work for yourself, on yourself. Good morning, cool Gen 87. So this is what this talk is going to be about this morning, y'all. It's going to be about me telling you, hey, you need to work on you. Now, there are plenty of fine men out here of all races, nationalities, national origins, etc. And universally, men want the same thing. Men are not complicated at all. Rich men, poor men, average men, they're pretty much the same. They want a beautiful woman, they want somebody with a pleasant personality, and they want somebody that's pretty much on point with their homemaking skills. That's it in a nutshell. And then lots of sex. Men are not difficult, they're not hard to figure out at all. But with that said, I'm going to sit here and share with you some things that I talked to my son about, because he's a young man, and he's a high quality man. He's working on the value because he's still young. He's working on getting that high value portion up. But one thing that I do tell him, the best way to know if a woman is of high value and high quality is you look to see how she takes care of herself. And when I say how she takes care of herself, it's more than just the physical. Because see, with women, men, you all always love to just only look at the physical, and that's what gets a lot of y'all in trouble. Just looking at the physical. But the same way the woman wants you to have your own house, your own apartment, your own crib, you should also expect a woman that you are looking into long term to have her own stuff. So no, it's not good that she's still living at home with her parents either, because see, you'll never know what type of how can I say, you'll never know if she's capable of paying bills. You never know what her sense of money management is like. So when you meet the woman and she has her own place, when you investigate that woman a little bit, you can kind of do like a Carfax on her, so to speak. You can ask her things like, oh, how long have you been in your current place? Casual. Now, if the woman is steady moving from place to place, that might be problematic. That might be a sign that maybe she has some evictions under her belt. That might be a sign that she can't live with anybody. Nobody can stand to be with her. So those are things that I would tell my son to look at. But if a woman has, kept the place a year or more, that means she's stable. And it also means that she can manage her money well enough to pay her rent. And see, money management skills, that is a good thing to have in a woman. You look for that in a woman, and you can't, you're not, it's going to be very difficult for you to see that if that woman is still living at home with her parents. So, number one, you would ideally want the woman to be living in her own place, ideally, because that demonstrates that she can at least take care of herself. The same way that women can look at you if you in your own place, and she can see that you can at least take care of yourself. So these are little things that, kind of give you a leg up in what type of woman you're looking at. Another thing, is she clean? When you go over to her house, do you see, that she keeps her place in her home relatively neat and clean? See, it's kind of difficult for you to gauge that when a woman is living at home still with her parents, because her parents may have her doing things at home that she wouldn't do on her own. But if a woman has her own place, she's free to do what she wants to do in that place. And see, it's not what a person does when other people are watching them, but it's what a person does when nobody is watching. So when you go over there, do you see things out of place? Are there dishes in her sink? You know, is she a clean person? So, I talk to the women all the time about leveling yourself up first. Because see, you want this man to come sweep down on you like Prince Charming and rescue you from having to work for a living. Okay, it's fine. You don't want to work for the rest of your life. You want to be a stay-at-home mom and you want him to go out and do that. But initially, you should at least show that you are capable of working if you have to. So that's number two. You want a woman that has a job initially. And if she has a job, what kind of job does she have? Did she have any type of how can I say aspirations under her belt? Does she have any goals that she has accomplished for herself? Is she an accomplished person herself? The type of job that the woman has lets you know how far she was willing to go as far as developing her own self. So if she's 25 and she's still a cashier at Walmart, then you know exactly how far she was willing to go in her own self development. And I don't care that you guys don't care about education, but when you're talking about choosing a woman to be your mate and the mother of your children, you damn sure had better care about her education and her intelligence, because it speaks to her ability to teach your children. So that right there in and of itself is a no-brainer. So you look at her educational background. Has she gone to college? Did she even, if she didn't go to college, did she even try to learn a trade? How far did she go in school? Did she have any accreditations, any type of certificates, accolades, anything? I still have all of my honor roll certificates from when I was in high school. I still have my certificates from when I was in college and I had made the dean's list. These are things that are important because it at least shows that she has accomplishments under her belt. And with those accomplishments, it also shows you in the type of job that she decides to take, what it is that she did with those accomplishments and how she's using those accomplishments to help herself in her own life. Because if she doesn't care about herself, that's going to be a reflection in how she raises your children. If she's a leech, she's going to teach your children to be a leech, a parasite, a tick in your life. So those are things that you really want to look out for. And the mere fact that she took the initiative to get out of her parents' house in the first place, because there are so many people that will lay up on their parents forever, forever, which really isn't necessary unless you're, going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer and it's going to take 8 years more. So you want to save money. But every grown person should be working to be self sufficient and get out on their own. And it's good practice for when you do find a mate and you guys get together and you start building your own household. You definitely want to get with a partner that has experience in that area. If you think about it, a woman that has never paid her own bills How can she know how to efficiently run a household? Yeah, she living at home with mama and daddy and she might have watched them do it, but it's nothing like doing it yourself. See, mommy and daddy did it. She didn't do it. So now you're taking her from mommy and daddy, thinking that mommy and daddy taught her how to maintain what they got. Mommy and daddy maintained what they got. She didn't maintain anything. Make sure your woman has her own first. And there's nothing wrong with you, when you eventually decide to choose a wife, you take her in and you take those responsibilities off of her. If you want your wife at home and she doesn't have to work and you just simply want her to run the household and take care of the kids, that's fine. But at least you know that you chose somebody who is capable of doing it based off what they've shown you they've done for themselves. And I'm only giving you just a couple of nuggets of my own knowledge for what you got to be looking out for as men and ladies. I'm just giving you a few nuggets of my own knowledge of what you need to be working on as women. Too many times, there are a lot of women out here hollering, I won't, I won't, I won't. But you ain't what you won't. Level yourself up first. Then you can demand a man who is leveled up. Another thing is you can also tell, and I'm just speaking specifically to both the men and the women, but especially to the men as far as looking at a woman to choose for a mate. If you want a woman that have how can I say, who lives a fit lifestyle, when you go over to her house, pay attention to what's in her refrigerator. Pay attention to what she eats. Pay attention to if she wants to eat out all the time. Pay attention to whether or not she even mentions that she has a gym membership. When you go to her house, does she have exercise equipment there? I own several pieces of exercise equipment in my home and a gym membership, and I'm active with both of them. If she has workout equipment, is she actively using it? Because some people have workout equipment in their home and it's just sitting there collecting dust. If she has a gym membership, how often does she go? And don't be afraid to make that a date. Yeah, date to the gym. See if she knows her way around some of those workout equipment that's in the gym. That's a telltale sign whether or not she's there on a regular basis or not. What are her go to exercises? Because, see, if your woman is already living a fit and healthy lifestyle, or she's already living a lifestyle where she's eating healthy and she's cognizant of what she's putting in her body, when she has your children, she is also going to have them on the same regimen. She's going to know how to cook nutritious meals for the family that is nutritious and delicious. She's going to be able to do that because she's already demonstrated that in her own life when she was living on her own. So, the same way women want men that have their own place, men, your woman, she should have her own stuff first. Now, there's always going to be the double standards when it comes to this sort of thing. But I say I don't see a double standard when it comes to that particular portion at all. Every adult should be capable of taking care of themselves. And I would tell you this, unless you're going to school full time and trying to save money, you should be out of your parents' house by the time you're 21 years old. But that's just me. Now, I've heard a lot of things here on online in the online communities on Facebook and YouTube and all the different places where guys are sitting up here, talking about their preferences and so on and so forth. But here's the thing, guys. If you guys are getting with a woman and she's a little chunky already and she's young, that's the other number one mistake that I see a lot of men making and women. You all are super chunky at young ages, and you ain't even hit middle age yet, where that old age spread automatically sets in. You want to be at a decent and healthy weight when you're young, so that when the natural aging process adds weight to you, it won't be such a how can I say, a bad thing. We're all going to fill out when we get older. That's the natural part of aging. But you shouldn't be completely obese by the time you hit your middle age. And that's what's happening to a lot of us because we're already chunky, or what a lot of people like to call thick. It looks nice, initially. It does. There can be some people who can be thick and healthy, but when that old age spread comes, and it will inevitably come, that thick quickly turns into fat. So that's the other thing that I want to point out as well. Now, see me, I don't have all the fancy words and fancy terms and fancy sayings. All I have is personal life experience and what has worked for me and what has not worked. So I can tell you on both ends. Now, you got a lot of folks out here that's just outright lying. But no, I don't get anything out of lying to you. Like I said on several occasions, I don't get paid to do this. There's nothing in this for me at all whatsoever. Except, that I do love my people and I do try to tell you the truth as I know it. I'm not perfect, not saying that I know absolutely everything, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that I know have worked over the years of the time that I've been walking here on this earth. Good morning, Joe W. A few things here. There have been a lot of controversy here with these level of coaches. CK and I did a video a while back um, on one particular level of coaches who's now currently in jail, the Michaela lady. Some of you all are paying money for stuff that should be common sense. You're paying money for stuff that's common sense. You guys actually already know this stuff, but I don't know what it is about some of our people, but we got to spend money unnecessarily because we feel as if this is going to help better our prospects of finding a mate or a particular kind of mate. and the very people that you're spending the money with, they have not leveled up really themselves. It's a lot of lying and a lot of fraudulent information being put out here. But if common sense don't tell some of you that you need to, you know, make yourself up and make yourself look good for the opposite sex, something is wrong. Now I can see you going to a image consultant and asking them, what looks good on you because you don't know, and getting, little tips. They got all types of free videos online where these girls are on there literally teaching you how to do your hair, how to take care of your natural hair, how to grow your natural hair, how to put on a lace front, how to make the lace front look realistic. They have free videos online that will show you how to do all of this stuff that you all are paying thousands of dollars for. So help me understand why we doing this. And then also, and like I said, common sense isn't common. Some of you should know that soap and water, well, that is the best beauty secret of them all. If some of you would just wash your face every day, wash your behind every day, your skin will glow, and it will lighten up a little bit even. Some of you have crust all around your lips and your eyes. You ain't got to sleep out your eyes. You just jump out the bed, barely wash your behind, and then you wonder how come you're breaking out. Cleanliness is next to drinking water. That's free advice. That's also good for your skin. Being hydrated, very important. But see, these are things that these people will charge you thousands of dollars for, and all of this information is free online. It's free. Now, some of these relationship coaches will tell you to lie about certain things. Like I heard one particular relationship coach tell women to lie to men about the fact that they have children, or lie to men about the business they have to be in order to get extra money. Now, it should not be a good thing All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm always hitting these dead zones. Yeah, Rude. I'm sorry. I know I'm borging real bad. I don't even know what was the last thing I was talking about here. Yeah, I'm driving through the mountains, Rob. But the last thing I was talking about these relationship coaches telling you to lie to men about things such as you having children and various other things about bills and in order to get money from them, and et cetera, et cetera. First I'm gonna talk about the bills because here's the thing. I'm a firm believer that if you're dating a guy or if the guy is just your boyfriend and not your husband, because see, I have a son and I tell my son all the time, yes, if you have a lady, you're definitely supposed to take her out. You're definitely supposed to, buy her things, because you are her boyfriend. That's if you're her boyfriend. You're taking her out, you're buying her things. But paying her bills is a no no because that is something that a husband does, not a boyfriend. Now, you're supposed to come in for her extras, absolutely. But no, you ain't supposed to be paying no bills. So if any woman is sitting up here talking about a man paying her bills, unless you're on that sugar baby thing, sugar mama thing, or whatever the hell thing it is you want to be on, where you want to be parasiting off the next person, hey, it is what it is. I don't knock nobody for what they do. But if you're talking about a serious relationship, you're supposed to be paying your own bills because that is a demonstration of your ability to handle finances. Now, as far as your extra stuff, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, and occasional work done on your car or something like that, yeah, a boyfriend can handle something like that. But your regular bills, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. You should not be paying her bills. Yes, I said it. And I know right now there's probably going to be quite a few women that don't agree with that. But here's the thing, if you guys are raising young men, would you tell your son to just be willy nilly out here paying bills for every woman they thought they were going to make it with? Now, if you can, in good conscience, say yes, then by all means, have at it. You're going to raise your son to be a simp. Yes, I said. But as a boyfriend, Valentine's Day, cool. Take your lady out. You're supposed to do things with your lady for Valentine's Day. You know, birthdays and stuff like that. That's what boyfriends do. Husbands pay bills. Husbands pay bills. There is a difference between boyfriend activity and husband activity. And see, we always get the two crossed up. I have a boyfriend. When I purchased my computer, the insurance on the computer was $200. I bought my own computer, but my boyfriend handled that $200 insurance for the computer. So that was an extra I didn't have to worry about. Okay. When I am paying my bills, I pay my rent, I pay all of my utilities, I buy food for my refrigerator. But when it comes time for me to go somewhere with my boyfriend, he pays for the restaurant that we go to. That's boyfriend activity. Now, when I was married, though, my husband paid the bills. I didn't have to worry about any of that because my husband took care of that. My husband paid the bills in the house. My boyfriend pays for the dates and my little extra. Difference. Huge, big, fat difference. Now, there are certain things that you are supposed to give a man as a wife, and there's certain things that you give a man as a girlfriend. You know, people don't understand the difference between girlfriend and wife either. As a girlfriend, you're not supposed to be going over to his house, cooking every day, cleaning, running errands, and all this other stuff for his house, decorating his house, ironing his clothes in his house. That's not what girlfriends do. That's what wives do. That is what a wife would do. So you put yourself at ease, ladies. Just keep your house. Worry about keeping your house clean and keeping your own clothes nice and neat. Because, see, if he can maintain his own stuff and be neat in his own house, then that demonstrates to you what type of man you're getting. Now, if he's a slouchy man that doesn't keep his shit clean, he's walking out the house with his clothes not, ironed, they all wrinkly looking and stuff like that. That's not a man that you probably don't even want to be bothered with, because that's going to be a problem. See, me, I'm a neat person. I can't live in filth. So if I observe a man living in filth, that's not going to be the man for me, because I'm not going to be running around cleaning up behind him all day long. I don't care how much high value he is. That is a freaking job, because it's going to be bad enough if you start having children. You got to clean up behind the children. His grown behind has already got to already know how to clean up behind himself. So as a girlfriend, you don't go to his house cleaning up his house. You just don't do that. There are certain things that you do, say for when he has actually put a ring on your finger. But he will observe that you can do these things because you're in your own place. So that is the equalizer. That is the reason why I say you have your own place, he have your own place. You can observe these things about each other in that way. Now, when it comes to sex, and I know this is going to be a real, real hot. I'm not going to tell nobody what their sexual activity should be like, because everybody's different. It's a recreational thing. But I will say this: you should not be having babies from men who are not your husband. And you should not be getting women who are not your wives pregnant. Babies are for married people. So these are things that you draw the line under. There are things that are reserved for marriage, and there are things that are reserved for boyfriend, girlfriend. Boyfriend, girlfriend just have, sex, for fun. So that means that both of you are taking the proper precautions not to be getting pregnant. Husband and wife, they're trying to build a family. So now you don't have to have all those precautions because you are trying to get pregnant. But I don't know what it is with us in the black community, but we are allergic to birth control. And we got so many excuses as to why we don't want to use it. The men don't want to use condoms. The women say the pill do this, that, and the other to them, and all the other different methods of birth control that we have. Nobody wants to get nipped and tucked. Nobody wants a vasectomy. So we're having all these babies out of wedlock because we have not made children something that is precious and reserved for marriage. We haven't done that. Children are supposed to be sacred for married people only. They're supposed to be what two married people provide into the world to build a legacy for something that two people have built together. Now, if you already have children, this is not a knock against you at all. But going forward, this is what we should be teaching one another. And we shouldn't be charging each other $1,000 to learn these lessons. What's up, Chaz B98? She said, right, Faith. The excuses given for not using birth control sound ignorant. Yes, it does. Very ignorant. Now, I have observed a lot of things. And another thing that I want to really, really point out, especially to the ladies, but nowadays, men, you guys are raising your children too by yourselves. If you have children and you're a single parent and you're out here dating, make sure that your children are mannerable and well behaved. The number one thing that runs off potential mates is when they see how you raise your children. I remember when I was out there dating and I had my kids, I didn't really introduce every Tom, Dick, and Harry to my children either. That's the other thing. So, the same way that you would be very selective about who you have around your children, first of all, and you're supposed to be, also make sure that you are raising your children in such a way that they are respectable and mannerable so that when you do bring a respectable person around them, they're not embarrassing you because they don't know how to act or they've been allowed to act a donkey and you don't check them. There's nothing more turn offish than when you're dating a person and their child is an outright brat. I'm just going to say it. Some of y'all have children that are outright brats. And what I mean by that, I remember back in the olden days, back in my olden days, when two grown people were talking, if a child walked up and interrupted two grown people who were in the middle of a conversation, that kid was automatically reprimanded and told that they are not supposed to do that. I remember when I was a kid being told, don't you see two grown people talking here? The word is excuse me. And so I knew that before I walked up to interrupt grown people having a conversation, I would have to say, excuse me first. If I didn't, I'm liable to get slapped in the face. And that was back in the day. And on top of that, if you're interrupting a grown person's conversation, it had better be important. Because if you're interjecting in the middle of grown people talking and you really didn't want nothing, oh, you were going to get cussed out. So it had better have been important. And last but not least, grown children should not be included in grown people conversation. And what I mean by this is some people allow their children to interject themselves in a grown person's discussion. And what that does is the other adult, they may not feel comfortable having that conversation with the child like you have the conversation with your kid. So, if you're going to be out here dating, teach your children etiquette. And also, we don't play with adults. When I was a kid, we did not play with adults. We did not disrespect any adults, and we damn sure did not play with them unless they played with us. And adults also knew how to respect the children. But these are things that we have gotten away from. I remember one time I was at this place called Harold's Chicken. They had just opened one up in Phoenix, but they have a lot of them in Chicago, Illinois. I love Harold's Chicken, but it's one of those places that attracts a certain demographic of people that's a little undesirable. So I was in there and it was crowded, and there were a lot of folks in there, a lot of kids, and just it was just crowded. And there was this little toddler in there. The boy had to be no more than about 3 years old. And he was running around cussing everybody out in the place. He's calling people bitches and hoes and you motherfucker this and motherfucker that. Basically repeating things that he might have heard the grown people in his life saying. And lo and behold, there was his ugly, fat, buck-tooth ass mama just sitting there acting like she didn't hear nothing. These are the same people that want a good man, though. I promise you, these are the very same people that want a good man. But your 3 year old cusses like a sailor. Get your children under control. And I'm going to say one last thing because I've been up here about an hour. And I know it's going to be real unpopular. But the same way that we tell men who don't have a lot of money or who are, unemployed, the same way we tell them that they need not worry about dating until they get themselves together. Well, ladies, the same thing applies to you. If you don't got your life together, if you're unemployed, don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of, the last thing you ought to be worried about is getting a man. Level yourself up first. Because, see, if you're down at the bottom, then what caliber of person do you think you're going to attract while you at the bottom? You're trying to attract the best of the best while you're not the best of the best. What's up? What the hell up, seven? How are you trying to attract the best of the best when you are not yourself the best of the best? Somebody break that down to me. Make it make sense. So, yes, ladies, the same way we tell men, if you don't have a job or if you are underemployed, the last thing you need to be worried about is a woman. The same thing for you as a woman. Level yourself up first. Make sure that you are meeting the same criteria and hitting all the checkpoints that you yourself demand. And I know that men are running around here saying they don't care about your money. That's a damn lie. That's a lie. And if they're not caring about your money, then what they're really saying is they just looking at your ass, your piece of ass at the end of the day. They're not looking at any other attributes besides that. So, what kind of man is this anyway? And what is his intentions? Because, see, I like it when a man looks a little bit deeper. I like it when a man appreciates other things besides the outward. When a man can pick up that I'm intelligent, when a man can pick up that I keep a clean home, when he can pick up that I handle my finances well, and I have a lot of attributes under my belt that are very, very attractive, that means that he's looking deeper at me for a deeper reason. He's looking at these things for a much, much deeper reason because he views you as somebody that he can build something with. So he's looking at other attributes in you because he's trying to assess your value beyond what you look like. Because, see, if a man is sitting up here talking about he doesn't care about those other things, but he's raving on and on about fat asses and titties, then he only thing he's doing, he's assessing your sexual value. But he's not looking at you as marriage material. So while the compliments about your outward appearance, may be flattering, that is all flesh. That's all about your sexual value. It has nothing to do with your ability to run a household, be a good wife and mother. So when a man is complimenting your beauty, that right in and of itself is nice. But if he's complimenting you on your intelligence, he's complimenting you on how nice your home is, he's complimenting you on how intelligent you are, He's looking at other things. And those are signals that he's looking at you for something a lot more deeper than just what is between your legs. But if all the compliments you're getting is only about your outward appearance, if it's just about that, then it's just simply sex, what he's looking for. He's not looking to take anything with you long term. And men, it's the same thing for women. If the woman is only asking you about money, if she's only asking you about your job, how much money you make, et cetera, what type of car you drive, she is only looking at you for your money. But if the woman is asking you things about your past relationships and what your relationship is with the women in your family, if she's looking at your accomplishments, she's looking at you a lot deeper than just your wallet. And I'm telling you what I know about paying attention to the signs and the signals. Dita Rell and I did a skit a while back about what sugar babies and sugar daddies, what type of conversations they have with one another. And that's what it sounds like. The conversation that Dita Rell and I had was strictly about finances. And all of the things that he said towards me was strictly about superficial looks and all of that type of stuff. But when he had the conversation with Love Wisdom in the skit that him and Love Wisdom did, their conversation was very different. They were talking about their careers, they were talking about their interests, they were talking about other things other than just the physical and money. There's definitely a difference. So, when Love Wisdom and I, we do our shows, we do our shows and we talk about things other than just wanting money from a man and leveling up, trying to get the bag and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, I think the level up is important because there are certain attributes in men that you definitely want to look for. You definitely want a man who is financially capable of taking care of a woman and a family. If that if that's what your goal is. And if your goal is to be a stay-at-home mom, of course, you do have to know that he's capable of doing that. That goes without saying. But you also want to know what kind of person he is. Is he the type of man that is going to be compassionate with you? Is he the type of man that is educated that can help you with educating the children? Is he the type of man that is family oriented? Is he kind to people? Does he seem like the type of man that have a bad temper, no emotional control? See, these are things that I look for in men because I definitely don't want to be fighting in my own home. And see, I used to say all the time in all of my previous videos that all money isn't good money. Now, there's a chick on here that I believe got with a milkman or something like that, and he was beating her ass left and right. But she got to stay at home. He paid all the bills. But do you think that money was good money for her? There's also a woman that got with her high value guy, but he's never around to help her take care of the children. So she might as well be a single parent getting alimony or child support checks. And he's a cheater. So, is that money really good money? So before you all jump into getting the bag, make sure you look at the character of the man. Because sometimes a man can be high value, but his character is low quality. And Chrissy talks about this a lot on her videos as well. And last but not least, compatibility is still very important. See, money is never, ever, ever going to take the place of compatibility. Ever. Some of the most long term marriages that you want to see in the black community or any marriage, whether it be white, black, or someone from another country, but those people in those long term marriages, usually, especially if the man and the woman are still madly in love with each other, they were compatible from the very start. Most long term and successful relationships are built on the foundation of compatibility. It's built on the foundation. Compatibility is the foundation. So if you guys have nothing in common, if you don't even like each other, you can't talk to each other, you have nothing to talk about, you don't enjoy really being around each other for longer than 10 minutes or longer than it takes to have sex. If all you're doing when you see this person, you're compatible in the bedroom, but that's it, you're going to have problems. The guy that I'm with now, we're very, very compatible. We can talk on the phone with each other for hours about anything. My husband and I were very compatible as well in that same right. We used to be able to talk on the phone with each other for hours about anything. And after we got married, we never went to bed angry with each other. What's up, Blue Devil G? And we had things in common. Like me, I'm somewhat of a sapiosexual. They have these different terms for everything now. But I am very, very drawn to intelligent men. I love intelligence. I have to be able to have these philosophical conversations with my guy. We have, certain hobbies in common. Now you and your guy don't have to have all of the same hobbies in common, but there has to be some sort of compatibility that glues you two together where you mesh. You have some of the same goals. You have some of the same morals and values. Like the guy that I'm with now, we're both conservatives, middle of the road, independent thinkers. So, there's compatibility even there, with our political beliefs. A lot of similarities in our moral and value systems. And see, if you don't have compatibility in those areas, then you're not going to have a very successful or long term relationship, let alone marriage. And there is no amount of money that's going to be able to fix that. So that is the reason why you have a lot of women monkey branching from one rich guy to the next rich guy because they're unhappy in the current situation. But they can't seem to put their finger on why. Sis, y'all weren't compatible. And if you monkey branch over to the next guy thinking it's going to be better, did you vet him? Did you see whether or not you guys have anything in common? Because if you don't, and all you had in common was dick and pussy, I'm telling you, a lot of you all, the only thing you have in common with the person that you're with is dick and pussy. And that can only take you so far in a relationship. If you like to watch social media as a form of entertainment, and their idea of entertainment is watching movies on TV, y'all gonna clash. If you like to have philosophical conversations about current events in life, etc., and they just want to turn the music up and listen to the latest gossip on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, y'all gonna clash. Y'all in the car sitting next to each other. You trying to talk about what happened in the current election, and they just want to hear the latest Cardi B album. Y'all gonna clash. You got nothing in common. And those little petty arguments, those little molehills, turn into mountains in your relationship. And that's when the cheating begins. Because a lot of times, men especially, if they're married, they're not really cheating because they saw some woman that looked better than you. Sometimes they're cheating with the woman that makes them feel more comfortable, that they have more in common with. To some of these guys, when they go home to their trophy wives that they chose simply based off of her looks, they feel like they're in a prison when they get home because they don't like her personality. They just like the ass. But after a while, everything gets old, does it? After a while, everything gets old. Because see, if you don't like that heifer, you don't like how she talked to you, you don't like her attitude, you don't like her morals, you don't like her value. After a while, she can walk around you completely naked, and your penis will not react to her because you don't like her. And how is your money gonna fix it? How is your money going to fix the fact that she wanted to vote for Biden and you wanted to vote for Trump? How's your money going to fix it? How's your money going to fix the fact that she don't like to clean up and you're a neat freak? And these are just habits that she has that's hard to break. You like natural hair, she want to wear wigs. How your money gonna fix it? How is his money gonna fix the fact that you a freak, but he got erectile dysfunction? How his money gonna fix it when Viagra can't even fix it? Compatibility is extremely important, and people have definitely gotten away from it. But just to recap, the video today that I'm talking about here is, are you a high value, high quality person? So before you go looking for high value and high quality in someone else, did you level yourself up first? Before you looking to level up to somebody that have already leveled themselves up, have you worked on yourself? Because as I said earlier, if you're at the bottom, if you hit rock bottom yourself, how are you going to be sitting at the bottom trying to grab something that's already at the top? Elevate yourself first so that you can be at the top with that person. Ladies, make sure that you move out of your parents' home and you get acclimated to paying bills on your own, because that builds up your ability to handle finances. It is also a good way to display to any man that you are responsible with your finances. What this does is it shows the man that you have the ability to handle money responsibly. Make sure your home is clean. This displays the ability that you know how to make a home. We already know about cooking meals for men. Men are very, very simple. Don't always go out on dates. You know, if you like the guy and you want to display that you know how to cook a few meals, offer to cook a few meals for him. Very simple stuff that you ain't got to pay thousands of dollars for. Good morning, love, wisdom. Very simple stuff. This information does not cost a dime. It's a no-brainer. And I stated this all at the very beginning of this video. Make sure that you have accomplishments under your own belt, ladies. In essence, I'm talking about job, career, schooling, education, that you've learned a trade. Have your own successes to brag about as well. Because what that does is it displays to a man that you're passionate about something other than just spending money. And it also displays to a man that you're intelligent and that you have drive. And any man looking for a woman that he wants to make a wife and mother of his children would be looking for these things in you. But it's very, very difficult, very, very difficult for a man to gauge this. And you have not been actively doing these things for yourself first. The same way you should not be building a man, I would not tell my son to be building a woman. You're supposed to come to him whole the same way he is supposed to come to you whole. So that you get a man that's already self made, he should be getting a woman that is already self made. Nobody should be building anyone. Compatibility is important, even more so than money. Money is also important, but compatibility is the glue that is going to hold you together in a relationship. If you don't have it, then your foundation is going to crumble. But at any rate, I just wanted to come on here and have this talk with you this morning. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes into this, and I'm about to hit some additional mountains. Normally, I would open up the panel, but I'm not going to do that today. I think I'm going to start doing more monologues. I might do something tomorrow where I open up the panel. But I have these talks and these conversations just to give you food for thought and a whole different perspective. But if you guys are just coming in and you're listening to the video, please make sure you listen to the video on the replay to catch some of the things that I said earlier. Like the video, share the video because that does keep me on top. I appreciate everybody that came in and listened to me this morning. You guys are the real MVPs. And with that, I'm going to say peace. I'm out.